Welcome back, folks. It's been a while. I think we're on our third week now of not producing a little vlog for you guys, and the reason for that is, God, where do I start? Well, for the last 3 weeks, the weather every weekend has been absolutely shite. And I think after the last little garage vlog I did, we were down to minus temperatures and frost all day. And yeah, not very good at all. And then as usual, what happens in the UK, after your cold spell, you get your damp winter spell. So it's been raining on the weekend. Misty, dull, cold and wet, so absolutely no chance to ride whatsoever. And I did say, I think that we had the last major ride of the year with Sports of Sickness as well, which is about 3 or so weeks ago, and it were throwing down, pissing down on that morning as well, and with a 2.5 hour ride that I didn't fancy. So yeah, here in the UK, winter's looming, and I didn't think I'd get out today. Tomorrow, as forecast, storms and 70-mile-an-hour winds and rain all day again. And I was doing some more work in the garage this morning, and then the sun popped through and I thought, hey! So an hour later the roads are drying out a bit, because it's been raining the last 2 days as well. And I thought, you know, if I don't throw the gear on now, then come next week we'll be down to minus bloody 3 again or something, and the frost and snow will arrive for winter. So grab it while you can, guys. So yeah, it feels so good to be out again for the first time in 3 weeks, stretching the bike's legs, and my own for that matter. We're not going to go far today. It's just I just needed to get out on the bike, because my idea was just to get one little last ride before we start stripping the bike down and do some work on it in the next couple of months. And I really didn't want to do that until I just had one last ride. So here we are. So we've been down this road before, and this is off up towards Saddleworth Moor. A little stop at the top with Bin Green car park. We're just going to stop there. And yeah, in fact, later this afternoon, because, what is it today? Is it the 6th or the 7th? I'll have to check the date, I can't remember the bloody date. Anyway, we're out with Sports of Sickness on the first Christmas drinking meetup tonight at a pub not too far from here. So, after this ride, put the bike to bed, get changed, and go and meet some of the Northwest Sickness lot. I've actually got a couple of do's tonight, and then moving on from there, and then going to the old school barbecue bus for a hoedown. Get the pigeons. I'm not actually sure whether they've opened up my favourite little spot. It's had a lot of work done over the summer months, so we'll soon find out. No, you'll never get bored of that view. So today, in fact, it is about 10 degrees, hence why I still got the fingerless gloves on. I've not even got the heated grips on yet, they don't feel too bad. And I was asked the question why I wear the fingerless gloves. Not because it looks hard on me, or cool or anything like that. Purely because it's easy to access the GoPro camera buttons on the move. So that'll be harder if I do ride into the colder weather and I've got my bobhead gloves on. I think we might be lucky. There we go, yeah, she's open. So I have a couple of pictures of the bike along this spot here. Looking down towards a reservoir which you can walk over and round here. Absolutely beautiful walk through the trees, the woods. It used to get a bit muddy down at the bottom there, so we'll just park up here for a minute. Yeah, and the other thing I didn't want to do, I don't mind riding in the wet, but when the bike's clean, I just could not be bothered clearing the shit off. And we've had the driveway at home re-tarmacked as well, so it'd be nice and clean now. I've had like a 6-inch lip from blocks before the tarmac's been put in, so I had to drive out the garage on a ramp. Fresh air. So of course a lot of people, very, very popular, will park up here, go for a walk down there. There's another walk that way, and you can walk for miles around here. I actually forgot we put that headlamp film on. So outside from a distance, actually, that's pretty damn cool. Is it that blacked out effect? I think she's missed the old ride out. It's only been 3 weeks, but it feels like 6 months.
From a distance you can tell. You and me, meant to be in the great outdoors.
Bin Green. Brilliant name for the place, isn't it? Oh, car coming in. Oh, we're not going to go over to Holmfirth over the moor. Hate that road anyway. Too bumpy. And in the last half an hour you can certainly tell the wind's picked up, ready for tomorrow's storm. I think it said, yeah, wind's up to 70 mile an hour, so definitely a garage day tomorrow. So in the garage I was waiting for some of the last timber for the side walls so I can put the new bench up under the window area, move the back cabinets around, and I'm still trying to get hold of another few cabinets, and finish the electrics off. There's been a lot of work and other things going on as well, so it's been a slow process, but I need to get that in soon, and the extractor ready for doing the painting to the bike. So but yeah, here's a couple of pictures, a little short walk around of where I'm up to with the garage so far. Here we are back in the ALCHEMOTO garage, and what's the bike doing in there? We was out on the road a minute ago. But yeah, let's show you guys where we're up to. This is a slow progress and we're trying to get as far as we can in here, ready for winter and ready for the projects on the bike. But we'll show you where we're up to so far anyway. So most of the concentration's gone in the roof sealing, or whichever way you want to call it. I'm not a roofer by any means, but what we've had to do, we've shown you some of this before on this side where we've had the insulation across the rafters, but with boarding that out on top, I've had to put these battens in ready for this is just 3mm hardboard which is going on top. And the reason for doing that is if you've got insulation in a roof void, to make that insulation work effectively, you will need an air gap beneath your final coating. So underneath that you can see how the insulation, you've still got probably a good 1-2 inch behind that rafter, and then for the 3mm boarding to go on top. So with the heat rising, you've got the air gap behind and then the insulation, and obviously what's on top, the original uninsulated ceiling above that. So that should keep the warmth in, and surprisingly at the moment I'm using a little fan heater in here and it's doing the job within 5 minutes, although we've still got to insulate the front of the garage door, which is a 10-foot door. So we'll be using like a foil backed insulation on that one. I've already put a seal on the bottom. And this just shows you the walls actually where we're up to with this. We've got the Kingspan or the Resitel insulation, which is 25mm. We've built this batten frame around the whole perimeter of the garage. You can see over there where we've done the boarding. I've shown some of you guys this before. Still got to wait. I'm still waiting for the boarding for where you can see the insulation on this half underneath the window, which is covered at the moment. And to finish off this one then, and the electrics to go in. So I'm just waiting for this board. I was actually promised some board this weekend and the suppliers let me down. So we'll do that hopefully in the next couple of weeks. And then what we've got is, that's the return line for the ring main circuit. There's a final double socket going on here near the front door obviously, so for working on the outside it's handy to have that socket there. A total of 7 sockets in this garage or workshop. Starting there's another unit to go on there, and the compressor's being moved, and the compressor's got to be piped in for the airline. Extractor fan to go up there, which we've got the extractor fan switch on there. Double socket up there, that's just for the clock and whatever else. And another socket here, which these have been strategically placed. Obviously we've got the grinder, you've got sockets behind every work appliance to save any messing around. This bench is going, and there's another long bench being put right up to the wall when all that rubbish is gone. It's just leftover bits of insulation. Windows behind my Dragon. So we've just got this wall to finish, electric socket to go in there. There's another one there. Insulate the side door, finish off that, finish off the roof. So one side's nearly done. Then there'll be some batten board going across there. That roof will be painted. I've even got emergency LED lighting on there, so if you switch the main lights off, that stays on so you don't trip up on the way out. And obviously again, Kingspan insulation in the apex, wiring for the lighting, and there'll be 3 LED batten lights, one for each bay, one there and one at the end. So we'll bring that electric cable down. And then on the back wall, some more units. I've already moved that one in that corner then, so I'll have a whole run of units along, hopefully lose that shelving and just have one higher shelf all the way around so it looks all nice and neat. And then bike time. So I've already got some new ideas for what we're going to do with a tank. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but because I can and I've got the space, I'm going to go for something slightly different for next year. So we'll keep you guys in the loop when we start that, and that will be soon. So there we go. So again, just to fill you in, why things have been a bit slow lately, because we've been busy with work. Actually involved in an RTA. I had my work van roped off yesterday as well, and you know, a lot of family things going on, so it's quite busy with Christmas coming as well, to keep things busy on the vlog front and keep you guys entertained. I do promise you there is plenty to come. One thing I will show you as well, with winter coming as well now, people want to keep your bikes charged. If they're not being used, your state of discharge for your battery, some of them might not start after even 5-6 days, I've heard. I usually get about 7 to 9 days on my battery without the tender, and she's a little bit on the low side then for starting. But what I do use, and I'll show you guys, I use the Snap-on maintenance charger. It's made by Blue Point, still with a Snap-on guarantee, and bought from Snap-on dealers. And price wise, these aren't too bad. They're about 130 UK pounds. And what I do with this, eventually this lot will be on the wall. You can hang that on the wall and then keep things nice and tidy. I use mini Anderson plugs. And again, on the bike, some of you might have noticed this. Again, I've put the little mini Anderson plug in straight to the battery on there, to the harness. Originally, you would have the Harley type plug, which this bike did have on, but I had a problem with the original charger, along with a few people actually lately that have been mentioned with the original charger, not keeping the battery sufficiently charged to start the bike in the morning. And as you see, they're colour coded anyway, you can't go wrong with that. But as soon as you plug this in the bike, and then she goes to the charge state. Now on here, if you can see that, there's a picture of a snowflake, and that is the maintenance. Now this charger will do maintenance, charge and desulfate as well, and recover dead cells in batteries. I don't know if you can see there, I'm nearly choking. There's an unhappy face. If you flick that switch down to that one, if you've got a bad battery, that one can recover cells. You see that now, he's 50% on my battery, 51%. And that's actually lost quite a bit from that short ride yesterday. And there's the charger rate now at 13.2 volts. So you hear the fan going, and what she'll do is get to 100% and then kick off, and then it'll constantly keep the charge on your battery. Very, very good charger, never give me a problem. And this 48, my Sportster, has been on the original battery now for 3 years now. Okay, so that's the battery issues for you guys to think about. But a common misconception is that batteries as well, if they're off the bike, some people I know take the batteries off the bike and store them over winter on charge, is that leaving them on a cold concrete floor, they're going to discharge and they're going to power up and blow up and do it all, you know, all sorts of things. But that is not the case. Going back, I don't know, 20-30 years ago, yes, when a lot of the battery casings were of hard rubber, but with the polycarbonate battery cases they have these days, not a problem. So yeah, you can store them on anything. People used to put them on pallets and things like that on a rubber mat. Doesn't really matter. But going off that, if your battery's on the bike, always keep it on a tender. The strange thing is that people think that in the winter your batteries will drain actually faster than in the summer. And again, that isn't the case. You're more likely to have a battery drain more in the summer than you are in the winter. The difference is it's cold cranking amps that you need to keep, so you need to keep that battery 100% topped up due to the cold cranking amps. In the summer, the cells, the way they react as well, the electrolytes, it's completely different. So another misconception, your battery will actually drain just as much or more over, I think it's 45 degrees your battery can discharge, 55 degrees, sorry, battery will discharge about 40% in 4 months. Whereas in the winter, I think it's at 0 degrees, your battery will hold its charge about 90% over 5 to 6 months. So something to think about. But yeah, as long as you keep it on a tender and your battery is at 95, 100%, no problem with cranking, winter or summer. Let's get back to the road. So yes, we'll be cracking on with that tomorrow, I think. And even though the temperature's quite mild today, well, still with a little bit of damp on the roads, I've dug out the leather trousers, the leather jeans for this occasion. I've not worn them since last year, and because normally I'll wear, if I'm just riding local, sometimes I'll just have standard jeans on, and for the longer journeys I always wear Kevlar jeans. So for the big trips out we do with our little group, the Hogsters, when we do those trips, I'm always wearing Kevlar, or a Kevlar shirt if I've got the sleeves unzipped on my jacket. But I must admit, because I don't wear these leathers quite a lot, they need scraping and they look too new. But bloody hell, they keep the wind out. So if you've got any dampness or light showers in the air, you know, anything splashed up against them, they just wipe off, don't they? And I don't know how many of you wear leathers as opposed to Kevlar clothing, but certainly these are comfortable and keeping the cold. I know it's mild, but I have worn them in colder temperatures and they do keep the cold and the wet out. And there's been a few subscribers, new subscribers in the last couple of weeks, so thank you very much for subscribing to ALCHEMOTO. I promise you there is plenty of good stuff coming up for winter. But while we're on that subject, it won't probably be as frequent, obviously, as you all know, unless some of you live in a country where it's nice and warm all year round. There won't be any riding vlogs, it's going to be more on the workshop based series, but we will be doing a bit more tuning as well once we've got the paintwork and everything redone, so we'll keep you guessing on that one. I've already got an idea now of the new colours, which aren't too dissimilar, and there'll be a bit of this copper flake going in over the top, but different Harley logos on the side, or maybe the same but a different colour, and some different airbrush maybe work on the top. All done by myself. I've learnt to paint over the years, and I've painted a lot of things, trucks and plant equipment, classic cars, this tank. I've done 3 tanks now on my other bikes, but I'm not a professional by all means, it's just learnt the trade. So I will be passing on some of those tips and tricks I use for paintwork and with the airbrush over to you guys over the coming months, which is sort of what ALCHEMOTO is all about. You know, you never learn if you don't have a go. And I always have this opinion that I hate to pay for something that I could do myself to an acceptable level. Just got to watch these bends at the moment because we've had so much rain, and I've noticed a lot of rainbows, a lot of film on the top of the roads in certain areas. And I know I promised a while ago, I got a message from someone asking me about taking the rocker covers off the bike. That will be happening. It is actually quite simple if you've already removed all the plastic underneath where your wiring goes through, or had a tank lift. It is so easy. But if you're watching this now, I do promise that one will be happening. It's just I'm just deciding on the coating I'm having for the spare rocker covers that I've got at the moment, which are either going to be the bottom rockers antique bronze or brass with gloss black tops and brass nut covers, rocker cover bolt covers on the top, or for the tops to be just antique bronze. I haven't quite made my mind up, but there's no point in doing that for you and taking those off, showing you how to do that, until I've got the ones on to replace, which sort of makes sense. There will also be new brake pads fitted front and back, and a little bit of work to the discs. And the big breaking news, here we go, come on, there we go, a bit slow for that one to come up. Next year's ride is going to be absolutely epic. The Hogsters, our little local group, and whoever else is joining, I think we've got the team up to now. If you followed our last one to Land's End and the previous one from Scotland the year before, next year we are going Europe. We are all heading on the boat and going to Belgium and heading through Luxembourg and back over through to Paris, France, and wherever else it takes us. We're still finalising some of the route, or the route if you're stateside. Anyway, we're back into what I call the boring side of things. The town, the built-up area, the houses. People syndrome. So we'll draw this vlog to a close. So on recap, we shall be doing that day in the garage tomorrow. Hopefully get everything ready for doing the bike. Or do I hold off? Do I hold off to see if I can get one more longer ride in before ripping the bike to pieces to do its winter mods? But yeah, do I hold off? Give you guys one more ride before doing the workshop series? Let me know. Answers on a postcard. Only joking. And message me down below. Thank you again for your new subscribers. I welcome many more. My aim is to reach that magic 500 by Christmas. That's the present to myself. So come on, guys. Thank you for watching. See you soon. ALCHEMOTO out.